Sub-junior. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the World Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships in Orlando, Florida, USA. I'm joined by Arian Kamisi.
Good morning, Bill.
Morning. We're going to be you're going to be viewing the 72-kilo women juniors and sub-juniors. We have a total of 9 lifters. We have 3 sub-juniors and 6 juniors, and we have some interesting numbers coming up here, right, Arian?
We do, Bill. The one we were looking at right now was the sub-junior world record squat. It's 205 kilos.
And guess what? We got a lady from Germany, Kruger. I don't know her first name, but she is going to be opening up. Stephanie
Sonia Kruger.
Stephanie Sonia Kruger is going to be opening up at 222 kilos.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 17 kilos higher.
17 kilos. She didn't want to take the 0.5 kilo jump.
And why she picked 222?
Of all numbers.
All the numbers. I mean, you'd think, okay, 220, 222.5. No. Okay, we're getting ready to start them up here. Our first lifter is going to be Cristia Nieves, Puerto Rico, 165.
The bar is loaded. Here we go.
She's going to be coached by Ivan Cancel. He's also a world competitor. And do you know if Ivan has won a world championship, Arian?
I don't believe so. He's won multiple North American championships and Pan American championships. He just hasn't gotten the world
I think, though, that he was the first medalist at a open world for Puerto Rico.
Could be. And
A couple years ago in Luxembourg, I believe. I'll have to ask him. Okay, here we go.
Squat.
Cristia. You know, one of the things, Cristia,
Good lift.
2-1.
She got one call for depth on the side.
Yep. Depth is the little red circle underneath the red circle. How else do you say that? Okay.
All right, now we're going to Ruslana Krasnova from Ukraine, 170 kilos. That's 374 pounds for the Americans listening in.
By the way to do it, everybody, is just take the kilos and multiply it by 2.2, or if you want to make it easy, double it and add 10%. So 170, 374, 340 plus 34.
So she's in our sub-junior age division. We have Kruger, who's way ahead of the other two, but Ukraine, USA will be battling for that second and third place, which would be critical for the team points.
Yes. She made sure that her ponytail's not underneath the bar. I guess that's one way to make sure your head's up.
Oh, nice and easy. Let's see.
Looked easy. What do the refs say? Side ref. Chow is the referee on the right side of your screen. Mike Zywolinski from the United States is your chief referee, and Hafner from Germany is the left side referee.
Load the bar to Francis Mora.
All right, we're loading up for Frances Mora, who's been competing for 3 years. Looks like her personal best is 190 kilos, and she's opening up with 182.5.
I would suspect she's probably going to beat her personal best here. You get a little bit of a boost just because of coming to a championship like this. It's an adrenaline rush.
And of course, with these young lifters, they're progressing so fast that these nominations don't always mean much.
No. The nomination weights are what your best has been in the prior 12 months. And, you know, that's not always reflective either, because sometimes you haven't done a good meet, and so you put a number down there that wasn't reflective of what your ability was. Or sometimes people have been known to put a number down just to make up a number. Okay, I'm going to pull one over my competitors
little
here.
mental tactics on the
little
competitors.
tactic here. But you got computer databases nowadays. People can look it up what your real work was. Okay, she comes up pretty easy. I don't know about depth on that. Yeah. Wasn't deep enough.
Yeah, it looked a little high to me as well. Looked like she didn't get that last little dip.
No. And the dip that Aryan is referring to there is right at just before you get to the bottom, you kind of accelerate. I don't know why we call it a dip, but that's the term that's used. And it helps seat the suit, or tighten the suit, I guess, better way of saying it. Gives you a little bit of a rebound effect. Accelerate. Stretch reflex reaction. Both the suit and the muscles, too.
So it looks like they went up 2.5 kilos. Maybe that extra weight will help her get that little depth that she needs. So now we got Hansen from Denmark taking 190 kilos.
You know, one thing that always amazes me, Aaron, is how close the women can get their hands to their shoulders.
Yeah. Well, it looks like she had quite a bit of trouble getting down.
Yeah. You know, I'm not a fan of the coach saying down, 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 because, you know, you're listening to that rather than relying on your muscle memory, and there's a little bit of a gap between your reaction to that sound and also their observation of it may not be correct either. You need to rely on muscle memory. You need to train the lift like it's supposed to be done. You'll learn. Your muscle will remember.
You sound a lot like Heinrich. He was telling me the same exact thing yesterday. He had the same beliefs.
Yeah.
Like they say, the squatting is a skill. You got to practice a skill.
Yeah.
Get the memory down.
Yeah. Well, there's another corollary, too. They say that you must practice something in athletics 10,000 times correctly before your muscle memory is really imprinted. 10,000 times. Imagine, that's 10,000 reps, all of them done correctly. Oh, nice depth there. Tall, slender lifter.
And Jessica Lowe.
3 white lights. Okay. Now we're going to jump it up to 2. You know, interesting, too. The sub-junior lifter is actually outlifting all the juniors.
And we were discussing the sub-junior world record is 205 kilos, but the junior world record is 240 kilos. So maybe she'll even take a shot at the junior world record on the third attempt.
We had a gentleman yesterday in the bench who set the junior world record bench and then comes back and breaks the open record, which just unbelievable.
And he broke it by about 7 kilos. He didn't take the...
Oh, no, it wasn't just a chipping it either. He was, I'm just going to destroy this thing.
So here goes Alexandra Chavez from USA, taking 190 kilos. She'll be battling for that silver medal in the sub-junior age division.
Yep. Silver medal looks like right now there's only about 20 kilos separating the two of them. Oh, good solid lift. Looked like she had nice control.
3 white lights.
Yep. You know, you look how stable the lifters are, too, where they're able to maintain their control all the way through the lift. Yesterday, it scares me sometimes. You watch some of the lifters in there. They'll go out there and they'll do this dive bomb squat. Oh, it bugs me, of course, but I've got trash for knees, so maybe that's why it bugs me.
So here we go. We got Sylvia Kapstad from Norway. She's been competing for 3 years, and she's a student. So she's opening up with 215 kilos, and she'll be battling out for that gold medal in the squat in the junior age division.
Yeah. We have 32 countries here, and right now we've got Sweden, Puerto Rico, Denmark, Russia, Norway, USA, Ukraine, and Germany this morning. I don't think she's going to move that one up too much on her second attempt. I think she got it. Oh,
She got one blue card.
Mike called her for knees.
Knees at lockout, it looked like.
Yeah. Blue card, the little blue circle underneath the red, signifies knees. One kind of a irony in a way. There's a downward movement during ascent on the squat. There's downward movement on the bench, and there's downward movement on the deadlift on ascent. But they're different color cards.
Yeah.
For squats, some reason or another, they had to make it a yellow to confuse the referees.
and they write it as double bouncing and
double bouncing. Yeah. I've yet to see somebody double bounce. Well, I guess they could if they go all the way down to their heels like a Olympic lifting.
So we have Pudalina from Russia taking that same 215 kilos. Looked nice and smooth.
She looked stronger on that one than the other lady that did 215 from Norway, Kopsted.
Yes,
okay, here it is, Arian.
This is what we've been waiting for.
One number.
222 kilos.
Sonia Stephanie Kruger. They're bringing the chips out already. That's unusual to see a world record on an opening attempt, period.
Looks like she's...
and she's just destroying it.
And it looks like her personal best was listed as 215 kilos.
Wow.
So she's opening up 7 kilos above what was listed as her personal best.
And that in turn is above the world record.
Above the world record.
This is 489 pounds for everybody out there.
For a 17-year-old.
Yeah. World sub-junior record. And, theoretically, she could go after the junior world record. If this, depending on how this looks here, I hope she gets this.
She's got the deadlift slippers on for the squat.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
No, you don't.
She's having a little trouble getting down.
She stood up with it.
Let's hope she gets this lift in.
Yes, it is a good lift. She would be much better if she had some speed.
Yeah.
Speed in descent. And again, same comment about listening to the coach call the depth calls. I think if she's potentially got a lot more than that, get some bar speed on it and just rely on muscle memory, she could hammer that out. She could do 240. So, wow. That was a grinder, though. Yeah. I suspect we're not going to see much of a jump.
No.
Because the coach has to base the numbers on what he sees, not what you want.
Yes. You can come in with a game plan, but once you hit that opener, you have to adjust based on what you're looking at. She had a lot of trouble hitting depth and a lot of trouble coming up, and it looks like they're taking just an 8-kilo jump to 230 kilos.
Even that's a fairly good-sized jump.
Yes.
I would have probably gone 5.5 to 227, 5. But
now we're at the top of the order, second attempts.
Yep.
With Cristia Nieves again,
yep.
Taking 172.5 kilos.
That's 7.5 kilo jump. Yeah, you see a lot of lifters come in and they say, okay, I'll do this on my opener, then my second will be this, my third will be that. And then the reality strikes. Wow, I just been flying for 8 hours. I just had to cut 5 kilos. I just had to, I didn't get any sleep last night. There you go. Did she lock her knee on the right side? Her right knee.
Good lift, 2-to-1.
Good lift, 2-to-1.
Left side called it for depth.
Yep.
On the flip side, you have the experienced coaches or lifters that will base it on how their opener feels. They'll say, I think I have 5 more kilos in me. It doesn't matter what the number is. You just go off of how much more weight you think you can handle.
Yeah.
Let's go up 7.5.
Yeah. And then there's another kind of philosophy. Let's base it on percentages. Mm-hmm. I'm going to open at 92%. I want to go to 96%, and then maybe 100, 102%.
Try and go for a PR.
Yeah. So.
180 kilos.
there's multiple philosophies. Of course, there's multiple coaches too.
Yeah. Now we got Krasnova from Ukraine now. She took a 10-kilo jump to 180 kilos.
With the women, you see generally not quite as big a jumps as you see with the men, regardless of weight class. Tall lifter, you can see there. She's taller than some of the spotters there.
3-way lights. She's also looks like to be the youngest lifter in this group. So she has plenty of years to put on some more muscle mass and fill out that body.
Yeah, she is the youngest lifter, isn't she?
And she weighed in at 66.34 kilos in the 72-kilo class. So,
wow,
lots of room to grow.
She could almost have gone down one class.
Yes.
Had she dieted that, 3 kilos. That's a good amount, though.
Yeah, and you have to look at the team strategy. Maybe they had a 63-kilo sub-junior already.
Yep.
Filling, or maybe 2, and they couldn't put anyone in that weight class.
By the way, Arian's a coach, too, on one of the U.S. teams. I should throw that in there.
Now we got Frances
Actually,
Mora.
you're coach of junior, sub-juniors.
Yeah, the raw sub-junior and juniors.
Yeah. Oh, hit the wall there, right in the middle. Frances Mora.
So she was the one who took the 2.5-kilo jump. And now she's got 2 misses, and she's going to have to come back, get that third to stay in the competition.
And you watch her walking off there, her mental attitude. She's dejected. She's depressed. She's got to get her game face on, game attitude in there. Mental attitude plays a big part of this. Coach has a responsibility of trying to get her jacked up.
Yep. This is what I was talking about a couple days ago during the 52s and 57s, how the mental aspect is very important with these sub-juniors and juniors. They're very young, very inexperienced. They're here at a world championship. They're trying to fight for medals. And one bad lift can snowball to multiple bad lifts and create a bad meet. So it's very important for the coaches to keep them in the game and keep them focused on making attempts. Coming back from a miss and making an attempt is very important.
You know, you listen to some of the pro NFL quarterbacks, and they'll have a bad throw or a bad quarter or something, and they'll put it behind them entirely. They don't even care what it was.
So here goes Hansen from Denmark. She had a little trouble getting down. Let's see. She missed her opener. She retook it on the second attempt.
And
again, she's getting called
same
from depth.
thing. Depth call.
Now we have 2 lifters who've missed their first and second attempts. So you have to come back and make the third. It's a little more difficult in powerlifting because in other sports, basketball, football, you may throw the ball 40, 50 times. You may shoot the ball 20, 30 times. But in powerlifting, you only have 9 attempts.
9 shots at it.
So every attempt is so much more value to it.
Yes.
And you can only do so many competitions in a year. Some lifters might only compete 2 or 3 times in a year. So you might be preparing for 1 world championship and do 2 competitions a year, and that defines your entire year of whether you had a good year or not as far as competitiveness.
And your training cycle leading up to it is, say, 8 to 12 weeks long, and that in itself, prevents you from doing a whole lot of competition.
Yeah. Some of these kids were saying, didn't get to go out and eat or drink for 10 weeks straight. They slept in and made sure everything was correct, and then they come here and they may have a disappointing competition.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good lift.
Good looking lift, yeah.
1 red card for depth on the side.
Yep. And Arian and I are both speaking a lot to the issue of coaching. And, in this sport, I feel that the coach has probably one of the major responsibilities. And you go back in the warm-up area, and all the lifter has there, they're just sitting there. The coach helps load the plate for them. Coach tells them to do this, do that, And the coach really picks the numbers in most instances. Coach motivates.
Yep. And here goes Alexandra Chavez.
Alexandra Chavez.
Taking 200 kilos.
And came up. She had pretty decent bar speed on that.
Yeah, 2 to 1 good
2
lift.
to 1 good lift.
And when it comes to the equipped lifting, the coach is also wrapping the knees, setting the suit, setting the shirt correctly.
Yeah.
And it matters very much if they set it correctly or if they wrap tight enough.
Especially on the bench shirt.
Yep.
There are so many adjustments that you can do on a bench shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Arian commented he is a coach for the raw, or sometimes phrased classic junior, sub-juniors. So you don't do a lot of equip lifting, do you?
No, I've done just a little bit of myself.
Yeah.
And just a couple lifters here and there. But yeah, my main focus is on raw lifting. So I'm here watching in the warm-up room, seeing what these coaches are doing, how they're wrapping, what kind of adjustments they're making to their shirts between second and third attempts.
Yep.
Trying to learn some of the secrets.
You're going to volunteer to be coach for one of the equip teams, right?
Here goes Capstad with 222.5 kilos.
Now, that's a 7.5 kilo jump.
Looked like a good jump. Looked like good depth.
Good depth.
There you go, 2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Good lift.
You know, one of the things I've noticed and I'm going to change topics areas on you now. I've noticed that the 3 referees, they are not on the same table.
Yep, we're getting a lot of 2 to 1 calls where even one of the times we got a depth call from the front and the sides gave it whites.
And it isn't always the same person on the side that gives the depth call or not. So one time it'll be the right side give a depth call and the left won't. And, the next time it'll be the other side. So they're not all seeing the same thing.
Yep, sometimes the referees might have to make adjustments by what the jury's telling them. But there's lots of variables going on. Sometimes if you don't see the lift, that maybe the spotter gets in the way, you have to give a white light. Even if it was high, you didn't know.
Yeah. So benefit of the doubt goes to the lifter. If you're not seeing. Now, you notice there, we've got 5 spotters up there. And in the men, anytime the bar load goes over 500 pounds, we have to have 5 spotters. And it makes it difficult for the referees sometimes to be able to see. Yep. Especially, both of the side referees are now sitting toward the front, so it's a little bit easier. But if you sit behind, you can't see.
Yesterday the referees were sitting behind, and then today the referee's sitting in the front. So that's another variable that could what they're viewing at and how they're seeing the hip crease.
Yeah, good point.
Yep.
It is. In a way, world record again.
Kruger from Germany, she took that 8-kilo jump to 230 kilos. She's trying to break her own world record she just set. Nice, easy walkout.
She had faster descent speed. Boy, she is a grinder.
She is grinding it, but just ran out of gas.
She had a better descent on that one than it did the last time. She got to depth easier, but just hit the wall.
Yeah.
I honestly thought she was going to be able to push through it. Now, that would have been an example of where I think they took too big a jump.
Yes.
And we talked about that before she came out. Remember, you said, she took an 8-kilo jump, and I said, ooh, I wouldn't have gone that high.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would say, well, they should have opened up lighter and maybe gone for the 222 on the second or third attempt.
Yep.
Build some confidence and build attempts. But the variable of the equip lifting comes in. Maybe she wouldn't have hit depth because she barely got down with the 222. So maybe if she opened up with 210 or 205, she wouldn't have been able to get down.
Yeah.
So it becomes a lot of strategy. Again, going back to the coaches, how light do you go that you're able to hit depth or touch in the shirt? And how heavy do you go that you're able to complete the lift and stay in the meet? Because she's clearly going to win the sub-juniors easily. But had she missed that opener, she may have bombed out and just given it away to another country.
Yeah. And despite what you might think, there is a lot of strategy in this. And you'll see that when we have close contests. We've had it in the past couple of days where the lifters have had competitors that they're right neck and neck with, and the coaches are playing with the numbers when you get to the deadlift. You won't necessarily see it unless you see the scoring chart, which, by the way, everybody out there, and she got forward on it.
Christia with her third attempt, couldn't quite get it. The 177.5 kilos.
She okay?
I think Ivan gives a very tight wrap Some of these kids have to get used to it.
You know, it was interesting. Ivan Cancel, who is about 129 pounds, and Mike Zawolinsky, who's sitting in the chief referee position over there, he just stood up. Mike's about 400. Mike and Ivan had a wrap-off contest here in this hotel a couple of years ago as to who could wrap tighter. And they were each wrapping a lady, and I think Mike might have won the contest, though. But I mean,
not
Mike's
by much.
yeah, but Mike's got 400 pounds. I mean, he's, darn near 270 pounds heavier?
All right, here goes Frances Mora from Puerto Rico. She missed her first and second attempt, so
okay, she's got to make this. We've got two lifters here that have both missed both of their first and seconds. Got to get it in.
There you go. She took some speed.
Oh. She had the speed. You know, now this is an example of where I think, and you mentioned it a little bit ago, about what do they pick for their opener. And, you know, maybe she had to pick that opener to get depth, but she had no problem making depth. Just couldn't get it out of the hole.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so now we got our next lifter, Hansen from Denmark. She also missed her first and second and needs this to stay in the meet.
Yeah. Now, staying in the meet, when Arian says that, they're allowed to continue lifting, if they so choose, for individual medals in the bench and the deadlift, but they won't be able to compete for the total.
Yep. And that also hurts their team points. So in this junior age division, Puerto Rico has two lifters, and one of them just bombed out is what we call it.
Yeah.
And so she can't score any team points for the Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico brought a big team. I believe they have 17 or 18 lifters here.
Here goes Hansen, having a little trouble hitting depth. Coach is trying to give her the up command. She just couldn't get up with it. So.
Same thing. And, you know, emotionally, this destroys some of the young lifters, too. And, you know, them, even they may be a monster deadlift and monster bencher, but after coming back after that, they're mentally
out of it.
Yeah, they're mentally out of it.
And as you said earlier, they can still continue on and get the individual lifts. And it'll be interesting to see if they do continue on, because as you said at the beginning of the competition, we have 9 lifters. So if the 2 drop out, we'll be down to 7 lifters.
Wow.
Which is less recovery time for these
for the remainers, yeah. Ruslana Krasnova from Ukraine. Tall, slender, long legs.
Nice and easy.
Good-looking lift for that young lady.
Yeah.
And she got called for knees. And I agree with Mike, her right knee wasn't locked. That's an example of where, you know, a lot of times as a referee, the referees don't pay attention to that because in a squat, that is, because the main focus is on depth. Yeah, okay. So you become kind of single-minded, and you say, okay, they made depth. They don't look at the knee at the completion. Knee has to be locked straight, both at the commencement and the completion. The two-side referees drop their arms when they see the lifter in the correct lifting position, and part of that is her knee locked at the start. But it has to be locked at the beginning, at the end too.
As well, yeah. So here goes Jessica Lowe with 205 kilos. It was listed her personal best as 197.5, so she had a PR in her second attempt and trying to up that on her third. Fights through, locks it out.
Yes, and I think good lift.
And
yes,
good lift, 2-1. And that gives her the bronze medal in the squat.
3 medals in individual disciplines, and then 3 medals, obviously, in the total as well. So when you see the award ceremony out there, they will award bronze, silver, gold in the squat, same in the bench and the dead, and then they'll award for the total. The total award is what earns the team points.
Yep.
And you get 12 points for a gold, you get 9 for a silver, 8 for a bronze. Here's Alexandra Chavez USA.
She took a 7.5 kilo jump to 207.5.
You think
She
downward
locked it out,
movement?
but it looked like she had up and down the spars, almost grabbed it.
Yep.
It looked like she was going back down, and there you go.
Yeah.
3 reds.
3 reds. Now, the yellow card below the red is, we were talking about that earlier, is the only one that they do downward with the yellow on the squat. In bench and in deadlift, downward is a blue card.
All right, so now we have Sylvia Capstad. It said her personal best is 227.5 kilos, and she's taking 230 kilos, so that'll be a new record for her. And she's also trying to take the gold medal in the squat away from Pudalina from Russia. So
now, Pudalina follows her, though.
So she'll try and take it back.
Yeah. And this is the jockeying. And, you know, the strategy for the overall actually can start, say, about on the second lift. Second squat, because you have a pretty much idea of their history, and you look at how they're doing in comparison to their history, and you can make projections as well right at the beginning of the meet. Basically, after their first squat, you got a fairly good idea using history, and all of this is up on the internet now.
So here goes Capstad. Nope.
Yeah,
she just lost her
core.
Yeah.
What she did there was to try and sit back to use the squat suit, and then she collapsed at the hip joint.
She immediately told the spotters to take it.
Yeah. Here comes again. Okay. Now, she missed this on her second attempt. Remember, she came out of the hole with it. She had better descent speed, came out of the hole with it, got about halfway.
Yep, and then she just ran out of gas. So let's see if they made any adjustments.
Yeah. Now, there's not a heck of a lot of adjustments you can do to a squat suit, really.
Yeah, and then it may be harder to hit depth if you're trying to get more out of the suit.
Yeah. One of the tactics I've seen in squat suit, and you don't see very many lifters do that, in between attempts, they'll actually take the squat suit and pull it all the way down to reseat the legs and the butt.
So here she goes.
Good descent speed.
Now it comes up. Oh, and she locks it out.
And look at the smile on her face there. She knew it. She knew it.
And good lift, 2 to 1.
Good lift, 2 to 1.
So they must have made some kind of adjustment.
Yeah, they did. She had better descent speed on that than she did on her first 2. Yeah. And now we have a new world record for Kruger. Sylvia Kruger from Germany.
So she ended up bumping the record 25 kilos.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
25 kilos over the old world record. You know, and a record, oftentimes they've been there for a while. And then you bump it by that much, I'd say it's going to stay there for a while, unless she comes back and sets it herself.
And she's another lifter that was very light. She weighed in at 66.68 kilos, so she hasn't even filled out her weight class yet.
On a 72 kilo weight class. So she's sitting here 6 kilos under.
Yep. And still crushed the world
14
record.
pounds. She gave away 13 pounds and still crushed the world record. Yeah.
So here's her heaviest squat of the session, 235 kilos, 518 pounds. Oh, and that looked easy.
Wow. She destroyed that one.
Yep, 3
white lights. And ladies and gentlemen, that completes the squats for the women 72 kilo junior and sub-junior here in Orlando, Florida. We're going to take a 20-minute break now. Aaron?
Yep, 20-minute break, and we'll come back with the bench press.
All right. See you soon, everybody. Bye. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the 72-kilo bench for the World Junior and Sub-Junior Powerlifting Championships in Orlando, Florida. I'm Bill Helmick, and with me is Arian Kamisi.
Hey, so we're back for the bench press. I saw a couple changes coming in. It appears that the two lifters who bombed out on the squat are going to continue in the bench press, so we'll stick with 9 lifters.
Stick with 9.
Yeah. Looking at the records, since we had the opener being a record squat, the sub-junior world record bench press is 145 kilos, and Kruger's opening at 140 kilos. So we may see another record being broken during the bench press. The junior record is at 165 kilos, so we may not see that today, but we'll see how it goes.
That'd be a little bit of a stretch, wouldn't it?
Maybe
a 25-kilo jump.
Maybe Pudalina from Russia. She's 17.5 kilos off.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. Pudalina had the top squat in the juniors division also.
And that looked quite easy for her for a third attempt.
Yeah.
So we have Hansen coming out, who is one of the lifters who bombed down squat, so she's continuing on for bench press.
3 commands in the bench: start, press, and rack.
She had a little trouble touching, but she locked it out nice and easy. 3 white lights.
3 white lights.
Maybe she can start building some momentum now for the rest of her competition and end on a good note.
And change her mental attitude, too, about it. Maybe she feels good about how she did in bench. She'll go into the deadlift with a real positive attitude and walk away from the meet with a positive attitude.
So now we have our other lifters, Frances Mora, who also bombed out in squat. She's coming out here for her bench.
Okay, Aaron, I have a comment. I want your opinion on it, too. You notice that she has her butt chalked.
I kind of figured you were going to ask that.
Oh, you think I just focus on butt, right? I personally don't think they should do that because it gives the side referees that white mark to look at. And sometimes you'll have hip flex, but because it's white, it looks like, oh, I see daylight on the other side. I don't think they should mark it because, and the other point about it is, chalk, I don't think helps you stick on the bench.
Yep, I tell my lifter the same thing, so looks like Mora had a little trouble.
This is your point. You agree?
Yes, I agree with you. I think some people think that chalk is like glue and it'll keep their butt down from lifting vertically.
No.
So it doesn't work with that. And like you said, if you have chalk on the butt, then the judges may be more inclined to look for that, thinking that the lifter has that issue. And as far as horizontally slipping on the bench, well, if you have your shoulders locked in on one side with chalk, and you push shoulders on the bench, and on the other side you have your feet driving into the ground and pushing up the bench, well, then you shouldn't be sliding in either direction.
Right. You're pushing your butt toward your shoulders, not up.
So here goes Chavez with
Oh!
kilos. So she just fell out of the groove.
Or the bubble, we call it. There's a bubble with these bench shirts, and you got to stay in that bubble. If you push too far toward your face, you saw what happened there. It'll fall, and the same thing will happen if you push toward your belly. So you got a kind of an incline, a tilt, I guess. Hard way to phrase it verbally. You touch on your sternum, and you finish over your shoulders.
It's almost like you're going up a ramp.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And so when you have to push toward your eyes a little bit. Long legs here. Okay. This is Krasnova, sub-junior. Oh, nice looking bench. Okay.
And the difference you see between Krasnova and Chavez, I noticed with her lift before from the USA lifter, is Krasnova's using the max legal grip, and Chavez was using a narrow grip, which I almost never seen in a bench shirt, someone using a narrow grip.
A narrow grip.
And so she had a little issues with touching, and then when she flared back, she couldn't get her elbows under it because she had such a narrow grip.
Yeah, your elbows are already too narrow. And, you know, one of the advantages is getting your hands all the way out to the rings. The rings are 81 centimeters apart. If you have your index finger on the ring, you have a shorter bench stroke.
Yep.
And you'll see the lifters here, not only will they try and get an arch from their shoulders to their butt, That's the primary arch, but they'll also try and pull their shoulder blades together, secondary arch. And in both cases, what the purpose of the arch is to shorten the bench stroke as short as possible. And there are some lifters, the bench stroke might make 2 inches.
Yeah, some of them have more horizontal distance than they have vertical distance, but it's part of the rules.
Yeah.
And it's a skill to get that flexibility, to get that arch, to be able to have a max grip and get the shoulder blades together and
Now,
be able to perform it safely.
Notice how wide her hands are apart on that one. Max width. Lift was good.
She had 1 yellow card from the side. Maybe her butt came up.
We'll see.
Like maybe the butt came up below it.
Now, this is something that we have a difference in judgment here. Hip flex does not mean butt comes off the bench. You have to see daylight through.
Must completely come off the bench. If a little part of it's still touching, it's a good lift.
It's not off the bench.
So now we have Jessica Lowe from Sweden taking 127.5 kilos. I saw her personal best listed as 125, so she's opening up with a 2.5 kilo
above her PR. Swedes have a really pretty looking singlet, don't they?
Yes.
One thing that's different in this competition for the cameras here, you'll notice that there is a light on the opposite side. The camera's looking through, and the purpose of the light is to see if their butt did come off the bench. Light just disappeared, didn't it? And nice looking form. 3 white lights. Flared back just perfectly. You know, as a coach, and Arian and I were talking in the squat session about the role of the coach. A lot of times, the coach has to figure out a way of verbally communicating with the lifter what they're trying to get to happen. And one of the things, the lifter may not understand flare back. They may understand push to your eyes or some other way of phrasing it. So finding a way to verbally communicate what you want sometimes has to be different with each lifter.
Yes.
And so the coach has to adjust. You don't do it the same. It's just like handing off is different for each lifter.
Here goes Capstad at 137.5 kilos for her opener.
You know, Kimmy Johnson and I were talking yesterday, and Heinrich and I too. One of the things that makes a tremendous difference a lot of times in these competitions is the spotter who hands off on the bench.
Yes.
And they can make or break you.
Yep. And a lot of people argue over this of whether the coach should be allowed to go out there and give the lift off so the lifter's in a best position to execute their attempt. Or maybe some people even say we should have no lift off and everyone has to just take out their own lift off.
Yeah. And guess who's coming up to the bench now? Sonia Stephanie Kruger. And we were talking earlier here. Only 5 kilos under her opener. Let's see how this goes.
She's got the wide foot stance.
And a very wide grip.
And the lift is good.
Oh.
She got 1 yellow card.
1 yellow card.
We'll see if we can look in the replay. Maybe the butt came up.
Anastasia also.
No, I don't think her butt came up.
Yeah, the knee was kind of blocking our view, but couldn't tell what the yellow was for. All right, now we're going
Boy,
to
her bench shirt was tight.
Yep.
Her bench shirt was tight.
Going to our heaviest opener now, 147.5 kilos for Pulina from Russia.
You know, and in that context, think about this. Stephanie Kruger here is opening almost as heavy as the junior.
Yes.
And yet she's only 17 years old.
Yes.
She's, depending on when her birthday is, whether or not her birthday is this year or next year, she may have another year as a junior. Oh.
So she's another one who fell out of the bubble, as Bill says.
Or the groove, whichever way you choose to
She
phrase
went
it.
back to the face a little too fast, couldn't keep her elbows underneath it.
Yeah. Had she kept, her elbows have to flare so the elbows stay underneath the bar.
You want the bar, your wrist joint, and your elbow joint stacked on top of each other.
Yes.
And now we're going into our second attempts, and if you're looking at the scoreboard, in addition to the live stream, you'll see that Kruger put in 147 kilos. So she's going 2 kilos above the sub-junior world record on her second attempt. But now we're going for Frances Mora, retaking 100 kilos for her second attempt. She just couldn't get it on her opener, so let's see if she can come back and get it. Looks like her personal best is 102.5 kilos.
Puerto Rico brought a big team, and I think they only have I think they also have 3 coaches too. Ivan Cancel, Alex Alvarado, and the coach coming out right now. Now, if you're watching, you notice there the spotter is changing the rack height, and depending on what she had put on her card, she may have to, it's on her clock. If she had put that number and they had done it, then it gets a new clock. However, if she, look at that.
She's fighting it.
Fighting it.
Locked it out. Looks like her hips may have come up. We'll see if the butt completely came up. And yes, it looks like
the butt came up. Yeah.
As she was trying to fight it, she lifted the butt up to try and make it easier for
now,
herself.
Notice that she missed both of her benches now. And she also bombed out on the squats, as we talked about earlier.
She's having a tough day.
Having a heck of a tough day. That's really, disappointing to her, disappointing for her team,
She weighed in at 70.40 kilos, so it's possible that maybe she cut to the weight class and overcut it, and now the equipment's not fitting the same as it would in training.
And that they kept the numbers the same.
And they kept the numbers the same based on that tighter equipment in training, and you come here and it's loose, you're not getting
the same pop.
Yeah. So it's just another variable.
Yeah.
So here we can see Chavez. As I was saying, she has a little bit of a narrow grip. Her pinkies even aren't even covering the ring.
Yes.
So it looks like she was able to get that one.
Yeah, that one didn't float back to her face. She stayed in the bubble. You could tell her attitude after she came off the bench. She says, "Oh, I finally." Wow, she came close to
losing that right side.
Yeah. Okay. Majin
Hansen from Denmark.
Majkin Hansen, 102.5.
So she was able to get her first bench in, to get her first attempt of the competition in. Now she's going for her second attempt. Took a 5-kilo jump, maybe try and get some confidence going into deadlift, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. One other little observation too. You notice how slow the bar came down. In the case when you're wearing a bench shirt, you actually want to have descent speed as well, obviously, as ascent speed, because you come down a little bit faster, you get a better stretch rebound effect from the shirt. If you come down so slow, it's almost as you're giving the shirt time to stretch rather than act as a spring. And here comes Krasnova.
107.5 kilos. I believe her personal best is listed as 110 kilos. So hopefully she can get this and then try and go for a new record on her third attempt.
We've seen a lot of variability too in the belts that the lifters either wear or don't wear on the bench. In this case, we've got a 4-inch wide belt, and in many instances, you'll see a 2-inch wide one. Nice lockout.
Nice
Good, strong lockout on that one. And some of the lifters won't wear a belt at all. And yet, the purpose of the belt in the equipped lifting is to keep the shirt from riding up.
So some of these lifters purposely don't wear the belt to make it easier to touch.
And to allow the shirt to ride up.
So maybe on your opener you don't put the belt on, make it easier to touch, get a lift in.
Yep. Or maybe don't latch the belt, depending on if it's a lever belt. Of course, you have to latch the belt if it's a buckle belt. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense logically, then, does it? Okay.
Right. Here goes Cristia Nieves with 122.5 kilos. Her personal best is listed as 120 kilos.
Yep. Interesting way of getting on the bench.
She comes in from the other end.
Now, when the lifter gets on the bench, one of the things you don't want to do, if you pulled the shirt down and you put tight or kept it in position with the belt, you don't want your elbows to go above your shoulders because you're going to make the neck of the shirt ride up. So you have to be cautious or careful as to how you get on the bench.
And set up. So
and set up.
Yep.
Replace the bar.
So she's not getting the start command, saying that her heels are not flat on the ground.
Floor, yeah.
Time.
And then
she timed out.
Feet were not flat on the floor. She did not get
So
a start command.
when they say bar is ready for the lifter, they have 60 seconds to get the start command in the bench press. So she took a lot of time to set up. She couldn't get her heels down, and then she ran out of time.
Yeah. Now, the two side referees, if their arms are up, the reason they're up is to indicate whether or not they are in the correct starting position. They'll drop their arms when the lifter assumes the correct starting position, which basically means, are their feet flat? Is their butt on the bench? The head on the bench? Elbows locked? And she didn't have the correct starting position.
It looks like Ivan from Puerto Rico went to the jury to protest the heels and maybe get a relift, so we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, we have Jessica Lowe taking 132.5 kilos. She just took a 5 kilo jump.
You know, in light of what you just brought up about Ivan going to the jury, if it's 3 reds, you can't take it to the jury. Unless they feel it was blatant.
Yes, I guess if he could say that the heels were clearly down, or maybe they didn't start the clock at the right time, he can maybe say that his lifter had more time.
She beat the start press command. Yeah, and didn't matter. I mean, she didn't make the lift anyway.
Sylvia Kapstad, Norway.
Sometimes as a coach, even if it is 3 reds like that, you may go to the jury to say something so that you get the benefit of the doubt for the next attempt.
Yeah.
Maybe the judge will see it, or maybe the jury will say something to the judges, and then you'll be able to get that call on the heels for the next attempt.
Yes.
Even though you didn't get the second attempt overturned, setting you up
yeah.
for the third.
And you know, in kind of in the context of what you brought up, it's how you approach the jury, too. Mm-hmm. If you come in an adversarial attitude, don't expect them to treat you nice.
Sometimes they'll just wave you off.
Have you protested calls?
I have. Yeah,
successfully?
I've gotten some successful ones. At Raw Worlds a couple months ago, I got one successful one.
Good.
But the rule book says it's for very egregious calls. You can't just go up there for everything, every little thing, and try and protest it.
By the way, the word egregious is not in the rule book. I think it's blatant and obvious. I'm giving Arian a little hassle here.
Only in extreme circumstances.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have Kruger from Germany, our sub-junior
guess
72 kilo.
what? Guess what?
Another world record.
By 2 kilos.
By 2 kilos.
And you know, again, she only has to chip the world record by a half a kilo. She picks a number, 147, 2 kilos over.
2 kilos.
Why 2 kilos? I mean, why not 1? Why not a half?
Maybe they're setting up their strategy possibly for the total, and they need to hit certain numbers to build that total.
Or maybe her strategy, maybe she's going to try for the open record. I don't. What is the open record?
Well, the junior is 165 and the open is 178. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
That's not going to happen. And she locks it out. And the referee, three
Three
white
white
lights.
lights,
She's got
another
another
world
record.
Ladies and gentlemen,
She's on a roll today.
So she got two world records in the squat, one world record in the bench. It's a good start.
And she's still got another attempt to go. So she'll get, if she makes it, 2 world records squat, 2 world records bench. Is there a chance of the deadlift too?
We'll have to wait and see what the record is for the deadlift and the total when we get there.
Here comes Anastasia Putalina from Russia.
She had
oh, this is junior. Sorry.
the heaviest bench, but she missed it on her opener. See if she can come back and get it on her second attempt.
If I recall, I think she got out of the bubble on that one. So
Just needs to execute.
just needs to make sure she keeps it in control. One thing you'll notice that a lot of the women have a much wider foot placement than the guys do, although she has a fairly narrow one.
Oh, and she gets that easy.
Yeah, I think that was just a foible on the first one.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
she
difference
got out of the
in
bubble.
executing. Yeah, and
Execution. So, but you know, the coach played a smart game there. Coach did not.
go up.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. Exactly right. Make sure you get your opener in rather than keep pushing the envelope and then miss it every single time.
Yep. And she's currently in first place in the junior age division, so why risk going up and bombing out and completely losing out a chance on the podium?
Yeah.
You can just retake it, get in the lift, get in the meet, hold on to that first place right now and go and battle it up.
Yep.
So now we're going into third attempts. We have Francis Mora retaking 100 kilos.
Now, remember, Francis had problems with the squat, and, you know, she doesn't look like she's got a game face on when she walked out right now.
Let's see what she can do.
And here's an example of one that doesn't have a bench belt on to hold the bench shirt. Downward.
Pushing it back. She locks it out. Let's see if she gets a good lift or gets called. And she gets 3 white lights.
lights.
So she finally got a
Finally got a lift in.
She can move on to deadlift.
Not happy, but she got a lift in.
Gotta feel good about that.
Yep.
All right, Mike
Okay.
Hansen, Denmark.
Majken Hansen
On
from
deck
Denmark.
is Chavez
I wonder what her job as a craftsman.
Yeah.
I wonder
That
what
was interesting. I saw that. Yeah.
she's had 5 years in competition now. It's interesting. A lot of the junior lifters, despite being, you know, young, some of them have actually quite a few years of experience.
And some of them may have come up from the sub-juniors into the juniors and may even have that world championship experience.
Yes. We've had some lifters that are here that are only 14 years old.
Just touches, drives it back towards the shoulders, and just can't quite lock it out.
Yep, there it is.
She'll get credit for her first 2 goals.
Okay.
And load the bar up, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody's in on the bench.
Chavez, USA.
Now we have Alexandra Chavez from USA. Retook her opener, and now she's taking a 7.5 kilo jump for her third attempt. She had issues just with the elbows on her opener, so she executed on her second. Let's see if she can execute again on her third attempt as she battles for that silver medal in the total.
Do you know where Alexander's from?
No, I do not.
I wonder if we've had a couple, 3 lifters from Texas, and I'm asking that in that light because of Hurricane Harvey and all the devastation that's going on there. Tucks her elbows, nice.
Oh, looks like she got
Locked them.
locked out.
And I think that's, yes.
3 white lights, and she's happy.
Yep. Almost ran into the side referee there. Here comes Krasnova. Look at the disparity, if you will, between Krasnova at 115 and Stephanie Kruger coming up with her third attempt at 151.
Again, we don't know why she decided on this number.
Yeah.
But she's choosing to take a 4-kilo jump to 151.
You know, it's interesting. I don't think, except for her opening bench, I don't think that she's had a regular number on any lift. Regular meaning ending in a 0, ending in a 2.5 or a 7.5 or a 5. I don't think she's had.
Yeah.
Opening squat was 222.
Yeah.
2.
when you're that strong, you can pick whatever number you want.
I guess so.
So she got off the chest, but couldn't quite push it back towards the shoulders. She'll still be credited with the silver medal in the bench press on body weight over Chavez from USA.
Yep. Okay, now we're taking it up to 127.5 for Cristia Nieves from Puerto Rico. She's a fitness trainer.
So I believe Nieves was the one who couldn't get her heels down.
Yes.
And timed out, so they took a 5-kilo jump anyways.
And remember, the reason she had timed out was partly because of how she got in the bench. We spent some time talking. She's a lot quicker
She's a lot
this
quicker
time.
Now she's got 45 seconds.
It takes time for the lifters, a lot of the young ladies, to set their arch.
Mm-hmm.
They're much more aggressive about getting the arch than the men are.
Looks like she's got her heels down now.
Yep. And you can see she was pushing it back, but just pushed it back a little too hard. Got out of the bubble again. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to 132.5.
How about Jessica Low Speeder?
It moved horizontal, didn't it?
Yeah.
When we were watching on the replay there.
So here we go, another junior lifter who's been competing for 5 years.
And she still has, depending on her birth date, a couple of years left.
And her personal best is listed as 125 kilos. So she already beat that in her opener and now looking to up that on the third attempt.
Missed her second at 132.5. Retaking it. Again, coach's strategy here. Do I push the envelope and move you up? If it was a technical error and they had the strength, maybe so. But most of the time in bench, it's not that issue. It's I need to get it in.
Driving it back, staying with it. Locks it out.
Good. Yes.
She's happy. And 3 white lights.
Yeah. She deserves that one. She worked on it.
And she gets the bronze medal in the bench press.
Yep. All right, now we're going to Kapstad from Norway. And it's a pretty significant jump, 150 kilos, 17.5 kilo jump over low.
So again, just like the squats, they're battling it out for the medal again on bench press, where Kapstad's trying to take the gold medal, and Pulilina's going to try and take it back from her.
Yeah. We'll have in between though Stephanie Kruger
with another
with another world record attempt. Who will be your next lifter, by the way? And here comes Sylvia Kapstad.
Tries it back.
Nice
locks
form
it out,
on
nice
that.
and easy.
That was a very pretty looking bench. Good looking bench, girl.
Two white lights, and she currently has the gold medal in bench press.
Pudilina will be coming up in just a little bit. See if she can take it back. And here comes Sophia Stephanie Kruger.
We have chips on the bar.
Another world record attempt here. This is a sub-junior world record. And again, a odd number.
It looks like it's 2.25 times her body weight. It's an impressive bench press.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's start the drum roll. Sonia Stephanie Kruger
Gino's getting the crowd going
Yep,
for
yep.
another world record.
A little bit of music in behind it there. Yeah. 151 kilos. That's 332.9 pounds out there. Real wide grip. Wide foot stance, too.
As you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
She just loses the left side, it looked like.
Yep. Got a little out of the bubble on the left side with her left arm, and it went back to the rack. Spotter loaders were on their game there. They were watching and they caught it. That was good job, spotters.
As you had mentioned a couple of times, some of these ladies use a very wide foot stance for the bench press.
Yes.
Some of them are just so flexible that their butt can easily come off the bench. So by getting the feet really far back and out wide, getting that hip extension and then the abduction, it kind of forces the hips to stay down on the bench.
Stay down,
So
yeah.
they can drive their legs and not worried about the butt coming up.
Drive backwards but can't drive up.
But can't drive up.
We had one lady, I believe it was yesterday, she actually had her feet so wide and so far back, she was touching the safety stand supports. Unbelievable flexibility.
All right, so now we got Pudilina from Russia taking 155 kilos. She had the heaviest squat. Now she's trying for the heaviest bench press. Take the gold medal back from Kapstad.
And she took a 7.5 kilo jump.
Nice easy touch and a nice easy lockout, just like her squat.
Boy.
Her third attempt bench.
You know, it's almost as though she has to work up to a weight that she can handle easily. The lighter weights almost don't look as comfortable as the heavier ones do.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to be taking another 20-minute break before we come back for the deadlifts. So we will see you here shortly.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Looking at the prognosis really quick, we have Kapstad projected to be first on the opening deadlift and Pudilina in second, but only a 7.5 kilo difference. So interesting to see what the battle will be like going into deadlift.
Yep. All right.
So stay tuned.
All right, we are back for the deadlifts for the World Junior and Sub-Junior Powerlifting Championships in Orlando, Florida, United States of America.
All right, Bill, I was taking a look at the scoring table during the break, and there was a few changes coming in. And the first change you'll see is that Kapstad from Norway dropped her opening deadlift. So now on prognosis of opening deadlifts, we have Norway, Kapstad, only 2.5 kilos above Pudilina from Russia. So we already had some changes coming in, some strategy. It looks like the coaches from Norway want to bring the opener down just enough to stay ahead the whole time and play more conservative.
In the sub-juniors, however, it doesn't look like we're going to have a dogfight contest between the lifters. We've got almost 80 kilos between first and second, and we've got another, say, 25 kilos between second and third.
Yeah, so it would look like
pretty big increments to overcome.
It would look like Chavez from USA would have to miss 2 attempts to give Krasnova a chance to catch up. But we're going to have a nice battle in our junior age division between that first and second place.
Yeah.
And also between Kapstad and Lowe for the deadlift medal, as they're both opening with 190 kilos.
Yeah. And remember, again, you can get medals in the individual disciplines as well as the total. Even the lifters that have been unsuccessful bombed out. We had 2 people bomb out in the squat, 1 person bombed out in the bench. Okay. And the bar is loaded. And here comes Krasnova. Ruslana Krasnova from Ukraine.
She's opened up 145 kilos, and she's our youngest lifter in this group.
Yeah. Actually, tall, slender lifter, too.
Nice, easy opener for her.
One of the things as you're watching out there, a lot of the women have the preponderance of the women have a tendency to do the sumo-style deadlift, where their feet are out toward the plates and their arms are inside their legs. You will see occasionally, someone do a conventional where their arms are outside their knees. So far, just 2 sumo.
Yep. Also with the deadlift suits and if you wear a squat suit for the equip lifting, you can get a little more out of the suit with the sumo stance as compared to the conventional. So there's a tendency to go with the sumo because you can get more out of it.
You get a little bit more hip compression, helps the drive out of the bottom. The reason you don't get much benefit from the suit is because you're really not squatting into the deadlift as much. And you'll see some of the lifters try and force that in there. And you're more easily able to squat into it in a sumo stance also.
Yeah. As you mentioned in the squat and bench press, having that descent speed gives you a little stretch reflex. So some of these lifters will try and drop their hips down really quick and get a little
they rock back into it.
Get a little stretch reflex, even though there is no descent in the deadlift to begin with.
Yeah, well, you're already there.
Yeah. So here goes.
Go ahead.
Here goes Nieves with 155 kilos for her opener.
There was a pause. You cannot have downward movement, but that looked like a pause, not a downward.
It looked like a rough opener, but she got 3 white lights, so she's in the meet.
Yep.
She'll get a total, and looks like she'll get that 4th place position.
Bar was a little bit. Her knees are soft on that.
Bar's loaded 160.
The bar needs to be really close to your shins, and the plane of the bar should be at basically about the back of your shoulder. If you look at that, the vertical line of the bar should intersect the back of your deltoids, and you want that bar to make a nice vertical path. You don't want it to float out in front.
In front of you. Yeah, the farther it goes out in front of you, the harder you're making that same weight.
I've heard, and I don't know accuracy, of course, for every inch that's in front of your shins, add another 5 to 10%.
It could be something like that. Depends on the angle as well.
True. That's true. Which, of course, is different for different.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Oh. Looks like she may have
lost her balance
or passed
there.
out maybe.
Okay, Hansen.
You get a lot of pressure build up from these tight suits and the belt. So
You'll see some lifters after a meet that they will have ruptured blood vessels in their neck and their face, and that's because of the pressure that Arian was just referring to.
sometimes you just see it during the awards ceremony where they're really zooming in on the face during the
That's
national
true.
anthem.
That's true.
You can see all the red dots on their face.
Patakia, it's called. Do you know that that's one of the things that at a mortuary, when they're doing the forensic analysis of a deceased person, they look for petechiae in the cornea of the eye to see if they've been strangled.
I did not know that.
And that's what you're doing
So
when you're
we-
doing some of these powerlifting events.
Yeah. So Alexander Chavez took 160 kilos for opener, nice and easy, 3 white lights. So it looks like she's going to lock up that silver medal.
Guess who's up on the platform now?
Oh, I see it flashing another sub-junior record. In this case,
Opening.
it's the
Again.
total.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So the sub-junior total record is 510 kilos, and her total will be 542 kilos.
She could have opened almost another 20 kilos less and still had the total
And
record.
still had it.
Okay. What's the deadlift
The
record?
deadlift is 205, so it doesn't look like she's going to
Yeah.
get that one. As we saw, she's very well built for squat and bench, and she hit quite a few records in squat and bench. So
Yeah,
that usually
and-
means
and-
you're not built for deadlift.
Yes. When Arian says that, basically it means that you have long arms so that you don't have to pull that bar as far.
So long arms will benefit the deadlift, but not necessarily benefit the bench press.
She's complaining about the platform being slick.
So her feet
Her
are
feet are
sliding out.
sliding out. Easy pull, though.
That's
You
why.
know- Go ahead, I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say that's why you make sure you open up light, especially with how big of a lead she has. So even if there is slipping, or if the room is cold, or the lights are flashing in your eyes, you can still
Anything.
get that opener.
Yeah. You set 2 world records here. You want to make sure that they go in the books.
Yep. If you bomb out the meet, your world records don't count.
Nope, they don't. And you'll never be able to look them up even. Here comes Pudolina.
So her attempts in squat looked easy. Her attempts in bench press looked easy. Now she's 2.5 kilos behind on these opener deadlifts behind Capstad. So we'll see if she can gain some ground, take the gold.
See whether or not those were realistic.
That's a nice, easy lockout.
That's a fairly easy looking deadlift. I think that I would say that her coach is going to make a fairly significant jump,
Yeah. I could see a 10-kilo jump.
at least. Okay, now we're going to go to Capstead, as Arian was just talking about. She is at 190 kilos,
And her,
418 pounds.
her personal best is listed as 205, so definitely capable of executing this
yeah,
and going up
15
from
kilos
there.
under. Yeah, this is easily within her reach. The platform, with the lifters, they don't have in some of the deadlift slippers or some of the shoes that they're wearing. There's actually no tread or anything on the shoe, so if the platform is the least little bit slick, we had one lifter whose feet slid out underneath the plates. Because, again, it won't happen if you're in a conventional stance, but if you're in a sumo stance, your feet... Oh, and guess what? We've got a conventional stance.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Pretty
Yep.
smooth.
Pretty smooth. Now, your feet can't slide out when you're in that kind of stance. There you go. All right, now we're going to go to 190 kilos again
For Jessica
for
Lowe.
Jessica Lowe. It's interesting in light of what we were talking about between Capstead and Pudolina. They have very differing styles.
Yes.
One conventional, one a sumo style. Conventional style, you have a longer distance to pull. It's a little bit more forgiving for technical errors, whereas the sumo style, it's very critical on technical form.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Jessica Lowe from Sweden. She's got the heaviest opener.
Look nice and easy.
Yeah.
She has 3 white lights.
Yep. her back wasn't flat. Watch this from the side.
Yep.
See, it's a little bit rounded.
And that made the difficult lockout. She
Yes.
had to unravel herself at the top.
Uncoil, unravel, like taking a pretzel and unwinding it.
Alright, so that was our opening attempts for deadlift. Looks like everyone got one in except for Hansen from Denmark. So now we're going into second attempts. It looks like Pudolina took that 10-kilo jump, and Kapstad matched it by taking a 10-kilo jump to stay 2.5 kilos in the lead.
And Kruger only took a 10-kilo jump also in the sub-juniors.
Bars loaded. Hey, Billy. Who's this an invitation of? Ready?
And now here comes
Thank you.
Krasnova. As Arian said earlier, she is the youngest lifter here.
Youngest and lightest.
And lightest, yes.
Nice and easy.
Oh, that looks smooth. Long legs and a very wide foot stance.
Yeah, so she took a 10-kilo jump, and that looked nice and easy. She might take another 10-kilo jump.
Yeah.
Since
For Francis Morrow, to 160. That was 155.
As I said, Chavez from USA would probably have to miss 2 attempts for Krasnova to have any chance of getting her.
Bars loaded.
Yeah. And since she's made her first attempt. And here comes Francis Mora from Puerto Rico. Francis did not complete a squat.
She was able to get 1 bench in, 1 deadlift in.
And her crowd behind her. And she got, I think, yep.
White legs.
She's a little bit happier now.
Yeah, she got 1 bench in and now 2 deadlifts in, so she's improving as the meet's going along. Getting a little excited now.
All right.
Now she's starting to enjoy herself.
Bars loaded.
So now here comes the other Puerto Rican,
Christian Nieves.
Nieves, a fitness trainer, been competing for 3 years.
She's going to take it up 5 kilos from her opener, go to 160 kilos.
She's a little too far off from the podium, so they're just focused on themselves, just make attempts and take what's there. Maybe she can go for a personal best or something like that.
Build a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
And remember, all of these lifters, men and women, are champions in their own right. Just to be able to come here makes you a champion. This is a world championship, which means you've been a... Wow, she grinds that one out. Very colorful shoelaces, too.
And she gets 3 white lights.
Okay.
And we got Hansen retaking the 160 kilo that she missed on her opener.
Yeah. This is
Here comes Maiken Hansen, Denmark, 160 to
Maiken Hansen.
Our craftswoman, Bill. She's our craftswoman. Not a craftsman, a craftswoman.
That's right. That's right. We were wondering what craft she was in. Of course, they don't show that on the lifter profile that we have access to here. Crafts lady. All right. 352 pounds. Needs to pull her lats tight, flatten her back. Oh, that was much nicer. Yes, 3 white lights.
Alexander Chavez, USA.
Now we're going to Alexander Chavez from USA. She took a 10-kilo jump, taking 170 kilos.
You know, Hansen there almost didn't have her shoulders back far enough.
Yep.
When the rules on the deadlift say that you have to stand erect, shoulders back, and knees locked. So when you look at it as a referee, you're essentially looking for 3 things. You start at the bottom, your knees locked, are your hips forward, and are your shoulders back. Then you go back down and do the same thing. Okay, and here is Alexandra Chavez from the USA.
So I believe if she gets this, I think this locks up the silver for her.
Position. Yes, it does.
Oh, and that was nice and easy.
Oh, that was
looked like an
easy.
opener.
whites, Chavez.
She's
3 white
excited.
whites, this is good.
We're lowering the weight now to 175 kilos for Kruger from Germany. So this will be another sub-junior world record in the total. She went up 10 kilos, so she's bumping up the total record by 10 kilos to 552 kilos. So her personal best was 512.5 kilos in a total, and now she's at 542 already.
And 552 is the projected prognosis. So that was redundant.
And so as I said, with these young lifters, they can progress so fast that a 30 kilo personal best for her on her total is nothing.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
And,
175
you know,
on the
and
bar.
think about what she'll be, where she'll be next year.
Yeah.
So another year of progress, another year of training.
She had a little
Uh-oh.
trouble with the lockout.
Actually, I think she had a grip issue there that she was losing her grip on that too.
Seems like she might be telling her coaches about the platform issue again.
Anastasia Kutelina.
Either the platform or the bar. Seems like she talking
Yeah.
to her coaches about some issue.
Yep. She she's already got the total record. She's already got the squat record. She's already got the bench record. I would not feel disappointed in today's performance at all.
Yeah,
I think she's not disappointed in herself. She's a little upset, as you said, the platform.
So here goes Pudilina from Russia. She took the 10 kilo jump to 180 kilos, trying to battle it out for that gold medal in the total. The opener looked nice and easy. Another easy lockout right there.
Yep.
This is good.
In a way, 10 kilos, that was somewhat of a conservative jump, but, she didn't look dominant in that one like she did in the bench and the squat.
Yep. And as we mentioned, there's 9 lifters in this flight. They've already done squats and bench, so the fatigue is setting in. It's different when it's 14 lifters in a flight if we're going to the deadlifts.
You have a little bit more time to do a recovery.
Yep.
Maybe you have a little bit more time to take something, energy drink or something, and
So
it gets like you're in a round robin. I mean, it's just continuous. I'm up again.
yeah.
I just got sat down.
Yeah, so here comes Kapstad, our conventional deadlifter. She also took the 10 kilo jump to stay in the lead. She
Uh-oh.
lost at the knees. This now opens the door for Pudilina.
Pudilina. Yeah. Now, she just actually looked like she let go. Her grip wasn't failing, I don't think.
Just seems like she
didn't-
knew she couldn't lock it out.
She wasn't going to be able to pull it up past the knees. So why waste the energy? Maybe come back and do a little bit different setup. Maybe pull it a little closer, set her hips down a little bit better, make her lats tight, make a tiny little adjustment. It's just not big things.
All right, so now it's Jessica Lowe at 200 kilos.
Also a 10-kilo jump.
So this will temporarily give her a gold medal in the deadlift. And she fights to the lockout.
Oh,
lockout.
I wonder the knees.
And 3 whites.
3 whites. Okay.
Yep, sometimes when you lean too far back with that shoulders,
Thank
then
you.
the knees start unlocking at the top.
Let's see if that's the case.
She was really fighting for that lockout and over-exaggerated her lockout with her shoulders going back. And then knees start to come forward.
The knees started to come forward.
But we're done with our second attempts.
Starting our thirds.
So Kapstad was in the lead going into the second attempts, but now coming out of the second attempts, Pudilina has taken the lead with Kapstad's miss of 200 kilos.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be a strategy.
And remember, we're allowed to make 2 changes after they put their number in. They can make 2 more changes to their deadlift. So they're playing games with each other. They're adjusting, see what's within their reach. What can I do to kind of confuse the opposition, so to
Yeah.
speak. All kinds of mental strategy here.
Yeah, so
And that's normally the responsibility of the coach.
Yep. So Capstad has a 210 kilo deadlift in right now, but she's just gonna sit there and wait and see what Pudolina does. Whether she makes it or misses it, and then put that change in to whatever she needs for the win.
Yeah. And again, in that respect, Capstad is heavier, which means then she has to lift to where she totals 2.5 kilos heavier.
Yep.
Because she can't tie and then win on body weight. She's got to win it outright.
Yep. So now we got Nieves from Puerto Rico taking 165 kilos for her final attempt of the competition.
363 pounds. That's a 5-kilo jump. Shins right up against the bar. Sat back into it.
Just moving it and just can't quite get it past the knees.
Oh.
Takes a little tumble.
She's having a tough day.
Yep.
Coach comes and helps her off for her final lift of the championship. So she will end up in 4th place in the 72 kilo junior age division.
Yep.
So now we're loading up to 170 kilos of Krasnova from Ukraine, who looks like she's just content with taking the bronze medal in the total, and looks like she might try and take the silver medal in the deadlift with this 170 kilo attempt.
And we have 2 after that. We'll see what happens.
Actually, because she's lighter, it looks like this will temporarily give her the gold over both.
Nope.
She couldn't get it off the ground.
Well, that was a 15-kilo jump.
Yep, so she
that
was
would
just
have
trying
been that would have been a stretch. Yeah.
Just trying to get maybe 1 gold medal to finish off the day.
Yeah.
But she'll get the bronze in the squat, the silver in the bench, the bronze in the deadlift, and bronze in the total.
Bronze in the total. Not bad for the youngest lifter and lightest lifter here.
Yep. She's got plenty of years to continue filling out the weight class and build up that total. So now we're loading up to 177.5 kilos
For Hansen
from Denmark.
Boy, she looks determined here, doesn't she?
Yep. She's just in the zone as the spars and loaders are cleaning off the bar for her.
Have to clean the bar between every lift on the 3rd attempt to give every lifter the best possible opportunity to be successful.
Yep. And in a flight like this, it also gives them a little extra time to recover.
That's
Takes
true.
a little extra time to clean off that bar, wipe it down.
And it also gives extra time for the coaches to play little strategy games. That's the reason why I think they instituted cleaning the bar more than anything else.
She gets it to the knees.
Nope.
And she just can't lock it out.
Okay.
And load the bar up for Alexandra Chavez.
All right, so now we got Alexandra Chavez from
Alexander
USA.
Chavez from the USA is coming up.
She took a 7.5 kilo jump to 177.5. So she's got the silver medal in the total locked up. Now she's trying to get a gold medal in the deadlift.
Bars loaded.
So here comes Alexandra. She's had quite the day. We saw a lot of laughing and smiling out of her after
She's had
some
a
of these
good day.
successful attempts.
She feels happy about this.
She's got her USA socks on.
What was the email about that we found out about? Wasn't she from Texas?
And that's a good lift.
Good lift. Wasn't she from Texas also?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I believe so.
this is the 2015 European Sub-Junior Gold Medalist, the 2015 World Sub-Junior Gold Medalist, the 2016 European Sub-Junior Gold Medalist.
All right, so now they're loading it up for 180 kilos for Kruger, who got the gold in squat, the gold in bench. She already has the gold in total locked up. Now she's trying to go for the gold in deadlift.
deadlift.
Try and take the full sweep of all the medals.
Trying to take it away from Alexandra Chavez.
She missed 175 in her second, but it seemed to be some kind of equipment issue, so we'll see if she can execute her third. Oh, and that looked easy. As I said, it must have been something with that. Must have been something with the platform or the barbell messing her up. Because she was able to get 3 white lights
and 3 gold in every discipline.
Gold in total. She got 2 squat world records, 2 bench world records, and 2 total world records as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down.
All right, so now we got our battle in the juniors, Bill.
Yep, and here comes Pudolina. And I didn't see a change.
There's a battle between
I didn't see a change come in.
I believe she originally had 190 in.
Oh,
she dropped
did.
it down to 185, something more conservative, to
that's
force
right.
Capstead to pull more.
That's right. We did see a 190 originally.
Yeah.
Now
So they figured Capstead missed her second. So now, if they make this 5-kilo jump, Capstead will have to go up from her second.
And to have
Put the pressure
it'll
on.
force Capstead. The lifter that lifts first has a slight disadvantage because you're not in a position really to force the lifter behind you as much. Although that's going to do a pretty good job of it. That's a good lift. Let's see what Capstead has to do to follow it.
So Capstead's putting the change in. She's
Yeah.
going to drop down to 205, I believe, is what she needs. There's the change to 205. So being the
Heavier lifter.
Being the heavier lifter, you get to see exactly what you need to win, but also the pressure's on you. It's the final lift. Everyone's watching. You need this to win. The pressure's on.
It's not like you already locked it up like Kruger did.
Yeah.
You've got to make this.
You got to
lift.
get this, and everyone's clapping, everyone's watching. And like I said, these young lifters have to go out there, focus, mentally tough. And for her, she missed her second attempt, so now it's even more pressure.
And coach is trying to get her focused there. This is the difference between silver and gold for her.
So they're wiping down the floor, wiping down the bar, making sure everything is perfect for her.
She's a half a kilo heavier, so she has to put in a slightly heavier weight so that she finishes with 577.5 to Pudolina's 575. Otherwise, she finishes in second.
Bill, it looks like she switched to a sumo deadlift now for her final attempt.
You're right. That's a significant change.
Oh, she gets it, and she just can't get it past the knees.
Nope. Okay, that means that Pudolina is going to get the gold.
Yep.
And she will get the gold, and Capstead will get the silver, and Lowe here will be their last lifter who has already locked up the bronze.
Yep, so she dropped her third attempt from 210 down to 205. She already has the gold medal in the deadlift, so now I guess she just wants to bump it up another 5 kilos. Looks like her personal best is listed as 202.5, so this will be a new personal best for her.
Best. Remember, we were watching last time, and she overextended and let her knees go soft at the end. So we'll see whether she has to do that again and whether the referees catch it.
She really rounds those shoulders and up her back forward, and then she has to really fight at the lockout. So here comes the fight right now.
Yep, and you're right, exactly. That was the fault. She didn't get her back flat, didn't tighten her lats there to where it would have been able to be pulled in.
Yeah. And then this attempt, it looks like she locked out her knees a little too early, and she was just forward over the bar.
Yep.
Too much weight in front of the bar.
Okay, so Kruger gets the gold in the sub-juniors. Chavez gets the silver, and Krasnova the bronze. And in the juniors, Pudolina wins the gold. Capstead gets the silver, and Lowe gets the bronze.
So we're going to do the award ceremony now, and the next session will start in about 2 hours and
30 minutes.
2 hours
All right.
and 30 minutes.
Thank you, Arian. And
Thank you, Bill.
all of you, stay tuned for the afternoon session. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Robert Keller, who's assisting Johnny Graham with the medals. Ladies and gentlemen, handing out the medals in this session, if I may have your attention for a moment, he is the Vice President of the USA Powerlifting, and he is an 8-time IPF World Champion. Big round of applause. He's also a Category 1 international referee, and he hails from Texas. Big round of applause for Mr. Johnny Graham. Johnny, give us a wave. All right, all of our participants receive a participation medal because everyone that gets invited to the World Championships is already a winner. Johnny will hand one out to each individual, and we will then move to the individual awards. All right, let's go to our first category. Here we go. 72 kilo weight class, sub-junior category. The squat, the bronze medal, she hails from Ukraine, Ruslana Krasnova. Silver medal, United States of America, Alexandra Chavez. And the gold medal winner, hailing from Germany, Sonja Stephanie Kruger. Photos, photos. I stay there. All right, never mind, go back. All right, let's move on to the bench press now. Bronze medal, United States of America, Alexandra Chavez. Silver medal win on bodyweight, Ukraine, Ruslana Krasnova. And the gold medal winner from Germany, Sonja Stephanie Kruger. She got a gold medal in the squat, a world record in the squat. She got a world record in the bench. She got a world record in total. What's the matter? You didn't get one in the deadlift? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the deadlift now. Bronze medal, Ukraine, Ruslana Krasnova. Silver medal, United States of America, Alexandra Chavez. And the gold medal, Germany, Sonja Stephanie Kruger. Photos. Stay there, girls. You're back to your same spots. All right, let's go to the total category. Bronze medal winner, Ukraine, Ruslana Krasnova. Silver medal, United United States of America, Alexandra Chavez. And the gold medal winner from Germany, a big round of applause now for Sonia Stephanie Kruger. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for Germany's national anthem. Please stand. Norway, thank you. And remove your hats. Big round of applause for all of our winners. Let's go to our next category after the photos. '72-kilo weight class junior category, squat bronze medal from Sweden, Jessica Lowe. Silver medal, Norway, Sylvia Kapstad. And the gold medal winner, hailing from Russia, Anastasia Putilina. Photos. Thank you, ladies. You may step back now. Next category. Bench press, bronze medal, Sweden. Come on back, Jessica Lowe. Silver medal, Norway, Sylvia Kapstad. Gold medal, Russia, Anastasia Putilina. Photos. Oh, Johnny got him a smile. Thank you, ladies. You may step back now. They already have. Let's go to the deadlift. Now, bronze medal, Russia, Anastasia Putilina. Silver medal, Norway, Sylvia Kapstad. And the gold medal winner, Sweden, Jessica Lowe. Photos. category. Bronze medal, Sweden, Jessica Lowe. Silver medal, Norway, Sylvia Kapstad. Gold medal winner, Russia, Anastasia Bukalina. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please stand for the Russian national anthem. Big round of applause to these three ladies. Photos. Thank you, ladies. You may step back now. And we'll get some music from the maestro, and Onyx will escort our ladies around the front of the platform, and the audience will give them a continuous round of applause as our athletes get escorted off the platform.